To talk to George Noory, call the Wildcard line at 818-501-4109.
Okay, welcome back to Coast to Coast. Let's go to Marvin in Pueblo, Colorado. Welcome to the program. Go ahead, Marv.
Yeah, how you doing, George? And I got to say, last night's show was great. You know,
the Mars special. You like that?
Oh, big time. And, you know, it seems you're really into Mars anomalies, and you seem to be getting more so. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my friends and colleagues, you know, George Haas, Dr. John Brandenburg, what an amazing, well, you could feel it in his words on the enormity of the nuclear situation and of the war that took place there. And, you know, and we're still in the war today, you know, regards to what is real, what is not, what is really on Mars, what is not, what is the Mars we now know compared to the Mars they now know. Now, one thing I got to ask, though, before my main comment, if that's all right, if I could.
Sure.
What happened to our friend, you know, Dr. Hoagland? He hasn't been on. I figured he would have been on that show.
He's still around. As a matter of fact, he was working on a show, and I guess it's not done yet. So we wait.
Oh, that's good. I got one more question, though, for you. When you and I and him were on the air once, I called in. You seem kind of opposed to want to talk about a case which I was hoping to be a guest on your show to speak about.
What was
your listeners, a great conspiracy of UFO Diaries, a video called UFO Diaries, and regards to secret images, faces of Mars that's never been shown to the public. And I really, wow, you know, seeing how you're so into anomalies now, you know, maybe you'd be more interested to talk about this subject because it's gaining speed.
What did I do to you? Because just bringing it up right now, I'm not opposed to it.
Keep it, you know, I'm trying to keep it polite. You know, I appreciate it. And last night, you know, I seen a lot of potential the way you can go with Mars, George.
I know, but no.
Obviously, my name's not Marvin. It's Mad Martian, okay? And you seemed to side with Hoagland once and not want to acknowledge those faces from UFO Diaries. You basically, you hung up on me and said that those were nothing new, that you've seen them. But no one's seen them in over 13 years, George.
You sure that wasn't the other George? George Knapp?
No, George Noory. I got you know, I even made a clip video of it and showing the pictures and everything and how it went down. It doesn't look too good because, like I said, those are my friends and colleagues, 3 of them who I've known for years, and the one that called in, Photon, that's our old buddy Eric from the Enterprise mission years ago.
Night, yeah. No, but I don't remember that original call with you. So,
well, you know, I can always send you a message, but if not, maybe we could, you know, set up something to talk about it because these images are stunning. You wouldn't believe.
Not opposed to doing that at all. Okay, let's work on it.
That would be great.
Okay.
No, that would be great. I'll send you a message about it. Hopefully this really happens, and I'll show you the link where you hung up on me. And the audience would really like to know this.
I don't hang up on people, so I don't know what happened to you.
No, it's not the first time. That was another time, too. But, again, look, this is a fight that I've been having. I'm not wanting to fight the world just to get the truth, you know? And that's the thing. It's not like I made the video. It's not like I was the producers and I made them tell me. Hoagland provided them. It's not my fault Hoagland set me up and my family to not answer about them. It's not my fault he slandered me last year in April of 2013 at the conference Awake and Aware, I say asleep and not a clue, time travel panel, where I was there. My presence was there dominating that conference when Hoagland answered that without me needing to be there. There's some pretty powerful torsion physics and all this, George. And I got to tell you something. The future has my place in it. There's people that researchers, they wouldn't want to acknowledge it because they're afraid of what the mainstream media will have them on or not. You know what I'm saying? They want to address this. They want Richard to address this. They want you.
They want us all to address it. Okay, Marvel, here, let's do it. See, I'm not. That's what's going on. You don't get cut off. It's just that after a certain point, I have to move on. So you thought you were cut off. You weren't. So get me the information, and let's see what we can work on. All right? It's starting to grow. Not a lot of people know about this case right now. I was talking to some people today. They don't even know about it. But if something happens, look out, because people are at that breaking point, as I've said for a long, long time. They're fed up. They've had it. They don't want to take it anymore. And we need to be very careful. Those folks out there that have got this rancher surrounded, you need to be very, very careful. People are at a boiling, breaking point. So you better watch out. Speaking of things, if you want to email me, Marvin, you want to email me about the Mars stuff, George at coasttocoastam.com. And, of course, here's our buddy, UFO Phil.
Well, I never knew I had Martians in my garden. And I never knew there were aliens on my roof. I got shadow people, and they're living in my basement. Got a funny feeling Bigfoot's gonna be here soon. I was so blind before, I was so unaware. But now I swear I'm seeing Sasquatch over there. And I turned on my radio in the middle of the night, and I heard things I need to know. Now I can see the light, and I also see a ghost, 'cause I'm listening to Coast to Coast. Well, you never knew that your baby was a hybrid, but as he grew, you began to see the clues. Now you know the signs, 'cause you learned it from George Noory. Even while you sleep, you got Martians watching you. I turned on my radio in the middle of the night, and I heard things I need to know. And I can see the light, and I also see a ghost, 'cause I'm listening to Coast to Coast. Good morning or good evening, wherever you may be, whichever world you're living in, whatever century. Your voice is always welcome here on my radio. Call in with your space transmitter or your telephone. I turned on my radio in the middle of the night, and I heard things I need to know. Now I can see the light, and I also see a ghost, 'cause I'm listening to Coast to Coast. 'Cause I'm listening to Coast to Coast.
Next up, let's go to John in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Go ahead, John.
Yes, I've got quite a controversy and conspiracy for you, George. I'm sure your listeners would want to hear
right.
it. And,
Let's
put me on the
listen.
show. Huh?
Let's go. Let's listen to it.
All right. You know how the face of Mars is supposed to be a face of mirror face, right?
Right.
So-called the trickle light and shadow. Well, what if I told you that from the same era that we got those images back in 76 from Viking, there are other images that the public hasn't seen that show other faces of Mars that is not that face of Cydonia, but share similar characteristics and structure. And believe it or not, this is seen in the video. You want to hear more about it? I mean, you wouldn't believe the conspiracy behind this.
Well, I tell you what, you can email it if you're going to tell me about the video, just so we can check it out.
It's called UFO Diaries. Hoagland's in it. And as a matter of fact, I'm calling them out here now. Kelly Legere, Mars Revealer.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that, indeed. I have. So that's nothing new. Jerry in Toronto, Canada. Welcome to the show. Hey, Jerry. let me ask you this before we take calls. How many Facebook followers do you have now?
Over 30,000.
Good for you.
That's not counting my friends. I have 5,000 friends.
How do they find you?
They just go to Facebook and Richard C. Hoagland, and it will take you right to my Facebook page. Or you can go to enterprisemission.com. There's a link to my Facebook page, the public page, the fan page, as they call it, right at the very top. I'd love to have lots of new people because the conversation that I engage in, and I engage in a lot of conversation with folks that come over and want to talk to me. This is important because if this is going to unfold the way I think it's going to unfold, it will save civilization. It will do all the things that we have to do to put America back as number one and to set a tone for the planet so that we, united as a human species, reach out and figure out who the hell we are by touching with human beings in a human spaceflight program that will be heir to the Apollo program that John Kennedy, gave us because of his vision, that everybody can be proud of and that will lift all boats. We need something as big as a war, but not a war. And this is it, if our scenario projections are accurate.
Let's hope it's not a war. Max in Denver, Colorado. You first, Max. Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'd like to know about that piece of Mars in your book, The Heritage of Mars you were going to write years ago. And I want to know why you're not talking about UFO Diaries, Hoagland. Where's those faces? This Mars reveal, a Mad Martian, I want them.
Because I don't do UFOs.
You never did UFOs?
Nope.
How come you never got involved in UFOs?
Because it's a bottomless sinkhole. Years and years and years ago, when I was back at the museum, in the days when John Glenn was just going into orbit, and I was invited on a local radio station to talk about, ETs and UFOs and all that, because UFOs are very, interesting back then. There have been some sighting in the Midwest, and the Air Force came out with the most cockamamie, absurd, idiotic explanation. And I realized at that point that this is a no-win scenario. This is the Kobayashi Maru. You'll never, it's like the tar baby. You'll never get out of being dependent on official agencies to tell you the truth.
No, they won't tell you. That's what I keep telling Steve Bass. He's going to be on Thursday for an hour.
I understand. And Steve now is, look, Stephen is doing important work because he's keeping that subject politically out there.
He's keeping it going.
He got a response from the White House. Why did the White House even respond to him?
Well, it's because he had enough petitions, I guess.
But look who responded. It wasn't the president. It was this flaky intern who knew nothing about space or ETs or UFOs. And when push comes to shove at the right time, they'll be able to say it was a total plausible deniability. He simply didn't know what was really going on. So this is a multi-level puzzle. It's like a Chinese puzzle box. And Steve's got a part of it. We've got a part of it. A lot of other people have parts of it. This is a ticking clock, George. I think 2012 is the year, and I think the doorway whereby the human race finally gets to see the big picture is on Mars, waiting in Gale Crater, with a spacecraft called Curiosity barreling toward Mars at several miles per second, eating up the miles even as we speak. And isn't it interesting that it's named Curiosity? Remember how Curiosity got tagged with...
That's right.
With that poem, Curiosity Killed the Cat?
Killed the Cat.